So, Steve, first of all, thanks a lot for the time. I really appreciate it. And what do you know about Brazil? And have you ever been here?
No, I've never been to Brazil. I have some Brazilian friends at the gym and that sort of thing. So uh, I like the people that I've met so far, but I can't imagine they're going to be a fan of me when I'm over there.
It's part of the game, right? Do you
Yes.
have any Brazilian fighters, Brazilian favorite fighters?
So my one of my favorite fighters of all time is actually going to be on the card with me, which is Jose Aldo. I love his leg kicks. I love the way he handles himself, everything about him. So I'm going to be fangirling over him while I'm there, I imagine.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask you. Jose Aldo will be on the card. It was a surprise for a lot of people, but being on the same card as Jose Aldo is something special for you.
Yeah, for sure it is. I've looked up to him for a long time. My coach was a very big leg kicker, and so I think that was one of the things that influenced me to like him to start with. But yeah, just how great his stand up was, the way he stops and gets up. There's so many things about him that I like, and yes, it's awesome to see him back. Obviously, I hope he does really well, but I'd love to meet him, and I hope, I hope he doesn't hate me too much.
No, he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. So, Steve, what was your first contact with martial arts? Why did you start fighting, and why did you choose this as a path, as a career?
Yeah, so I don't know why I had this in my head, but ever since I was really young, I wanted to be like one of the toughest guys in the room. I wanted to be the world's strongest man. I wanted to be like Hercules. I wanted to be all that sort of thing. And then when I was maybe 14, I saw Brock Lesnar come over from the WWE and he fought a guy called Frank Mir. And even though they're both heavyweights, Frank Mir was much smaller than Brock Lesnar and I was a small guy. So to see Frank Mir, from the bottom, grab onto his toe, rip on his leg and get the submission, I knew straight away that that's something I wanted to do. So ever since then, I joined a gym and had my first fight. And I've always wanted to be the best at whatever I'm doing, and it sort of started there.
What was in the beginning, was that hard for you? I'm asking this because we all know here in Brazil, fighters in the beginning of their careers, they don't have much support. It is hard for them to make money and follow this path. I'm asking you, you are a guy from Australia. Do you have any difficulties, and what kind of difficulties? Maybe the family doesn't support this choice and all that stuff. Do you have any difficulties in your beginning?
Yeah, of course. Wasn't like I guess like some of the ones that you have in Brazil where they're really struggling for money and that sort of thing. I was lucky that my family were supportive.
Mhm.
Obviously, my dad didn't want me to fight to start with. He wanted me to be at uni. He wanted me to get a full time job. He wanted all these things for me, and so I had to really convince him. And even once I had started, and I was getting relatively successful after I'd win like an Australian title, then some people in my family would be like, "Oh, okay, so now you're going to give it up now that you've done that and that sort of thing." So you always have these challenges, but I have been very lucky in my life that a lot of people, I guess, have seen the hard work I put in, and they've been there to support me and help me along the way. So, yeah.
If you were not a fighter, what do you think you would be doing right now?
Um, I think either I'd be working with my hands in like construction or carpentry, or I'd be working with animals in some way. I used to love. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Steve Irwin or
Yeah.
anybody like that, but yeah, I used to love watching his documentaries and anything to do with animals. I used to love. So maybe something in that field.
Awesome. And Steve, do you have any inspiration? I gotta believe that for a guy from Australia, Volkanovski and Robert Whitaker, these guys should be like an inspiration. What these guys means for you?
Yeah, so obviously Robert Whitaker was the first Australian to win a title, so that was cool to see that. Yeah, we can do it from Australia. It's not like we're some backward country or anything like that. Like we do have the talent here and the skill here. And then the stuff that Volkanovski's been able to do. Obviously, he went up to lightweight and he didn't beat Islam Makhachev, but he did put on a really good performance, and just the way he's challenged himself, I really liked and looked up to. So I'd like to be the first person to do it from WA. But they proved that we can do it from here, I guess, and that's the inspiration.
Were you at the stadium, at Marvel Stadium in Whitaker against Adesanya?
No, I wasn't at that one. I got to see the one in Perth, so I was at RAC. That one was amazing, but I didn't get to see Robert Whitaker and Robert, but that would have been amazing.
Okay, so Steve, talking about UFC Rio, first of all, what were you doing when you got the call from the UFC, and how surprised, I gotta believe, were you to have this chance so fast, 3 wins in UFC and already fighting for a title?
Yeah, so at the time I was eating KFC, just some fried chicken, and I was really enjoying the fact that I wasn't on a diet. And when I got the call, I sort of laughed because I was surprised that I was getting the opportunity, but my dad apparently can predict the future, and he said, "Oh, I think you actually might get the next shot." So I called him an idiot at the time, and then when I found out the news, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to apologize." And so there was an interesting moment.
That's awesome. And for you, we all know that some fighters at sometimes they think really well, like step by step. They don't want to get like Ian Gary, for example. He doesn't want to fight for a title right now because he feels that he's not ready. I'm asking you, do you feel ready for this opportunity right now? And or would you rather get this chance ahead of the time? How do you feel?
Yeah, I definitely feel ready. I've been working for a long time. I've been visualizing like this type of moment. Obviously, I didn't expect it to come so soon, but that being said, I'm taking it with both hands, and I've always said that I'm willing to fight anybody, anywhere, and I couldn't think of a better way to prove that than to go over on my 4th fight the world champion in his home country. So I'm excited for the opportunity. I'm going to show that I am a man of my word, and that I think I can take it.
Even from Brazil, I made the list on my channel talking about the becoming fighters that we should look for this year, and you was one of the fighters that we put on that list. I would like to know, do you embrace all this hype and all this thing? I'm the guy, I'll be a champion, all that thing, or do you prefer to let this with the audience? Let them talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm probably more of the let the audience talk and say what they want to say. Like, all the media stuff is cool, but I think it's easy to get lost in it all. And if I get too focused on what people are saying, it'll affect my performances and that sort of thing. So I'll let everybody else do their talking. I'll do my training, and then my talking will be done inside the cage.
Awesome. Now talking about the champion, Alexandre Pantoja, what do you think about him as a champion, as a fighter?
Yeah, so I think his tenacity and his mental strength is amazing. He goes out from start to finish. He's trying to attack and find a way to win the fight, and that's super admirable. I think his biggest strengths are his grappling, obviously, like the way he takes it back, his control. Like, it doesn't look super fancy or anything, but I think people always look at things that are fancy and think, oh, that must be good. But his basics are amazing, and that's why it doesn't necessarily look like he's doing a lot, but people don't seem to find a way up. So that's definitely the biggest strength he has. But I do think he gets away with a lot of stuff on the feet because he's so tough, and that's really where I'm going to look to take advantage of.
Yeah. So would you say that's your biggest weapon against him, knowing the time to attack and use this weakness of his striking?
I do. I think Yeah, I think angles are a big thing for me, and yeah, end up using my range as well. Obviously, a lot of people have tried, a lot of people have failed against him, but yeah, we'll see if I can do it.
And what about fighting in his hometown? How do you feel? We all know that it is hard for Brazilian fighters to find fighters that can step in and fight here in Rio de Janeiro. So how do you feel? We all know the crowd, the pressure of the Brazilian crowd and all that stuff. How do you feel? And I'm asking this because we had Max Holloway facing Jose Aldo, and when Max Holloway won the title here in Rio de Janeiro, he said that he likes this pressure because he can soak it in and all that stuff. Can you separate things and doesn't hear anything, or it's better to get this energy for you?
I am very excited to hear the crowd. Obviously, they're going to be booing and saying you're going to die and all that sort of stuff, and it's like it's super exciting for me. Locally, I had a fight where that happened too, a couple of times. It obviously won't be as loud as that, but yeah, it was super exciting. I was out the back and I don't know, there was something about the energy that really got me going. So I'm excited to soak it all in. I imagine once the fight starts, it'll start to sort of fade away. But yeah, before and after the fight, it's something I'm really looking forward to.
Okay, and Steve, do you have any predictions for the fight? How do you visualize? How do you get it done on UFC here?
I think he is very tough, and although I will be going for a finish, I'm not going to bank on that. I'm looking to basically, death by 1,000 cuts. I'm going to touch him for 5 rounds, and if he falls down, that's great. But if he doesn't, I'm looking to take a dominant decision.
And do you have any message for the Brazilian fans? Of course, they will cheer for Pantoja, but we all respect people down here. So what can you say to the Brazilian fans?
I look forward to coming down and giving you an exciting fight, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Awesome, Steve. Really appreciate the time, man. Good luck on your training camp, and we wait you here in Brazil to do a nice work. Thank you, man.
Cool. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.